You mentioned, you didn't say Martha Karua. You said Martha Njoka. Now, the switch from Martha Njoka to Martha Karua was because of something that happened in Parliament. Okay, in the campaigns, yes. And again, it's what men say, or what a group of people were saying about you because of your marital status. They were bringing your personal life into your work life. Explain the challenges of that, and how can somebody who's here, you were divorced at the time, and that's what they were trying to throw out there as saying, how on earth can she lead because of this elephant in the room?
It is still thrown up to this day. There's a time, Maina Kageni had this show. I didn't listen to it, but I got to know of it on Twitter, whether Kenya is ready for a female president. And he goes on that I'm not married. So I just tweeted and asked him, how dare he discuss me without asking me, and whether he himself was married. The rest he got from Kenyans. I just needed to throw the first stone, and the matter was settled. And now I'm seeing not many people dare to repeat those words. So you see, there are two standards, the female standard and the male standard. So when my candidature came, the talk was that she is not married, she can't lead. She is this, she can't read. She can't hold her home together. She can't lead. That kind of thing. So it became a big issue. I never used to answer it because, you see, it's supposed to distract you from your campaign. So I would go on to explain to people why I think I'm the best candidate. And as I am finishing, I'll refer to it not as relating to me, but a thing being said about women, you know? And remind them that the job I'm seeking is performed by only one person, the person seeking it. And I tell them, the last MP you had, you never asked him about his wife. Yet he was unable to perform the job. When you go to the bank to apply for the loan, if you find a lady manager, you don't ask about her husband or whether she's married. You apply for the loan. In school, you are taking your son. The head teacher is female. You'd never inquire about her home. So I'm asking them, is it only this one job you are asking for more than you should? Then I say, ask me if I'm qualified. And I'll go on now to tell them why I think I'm qualified. So I decided, since it was such a big deal, why not show my constituents a little bit of style? I've been elected as Martha Njoka. We are being sworn in the third week of January because elections were December those days, end of December. So I'm being sworn in third week of January. I quickly went back to my law office, did a deed poll for change of name, followed it up to ensure it was gazetted, and took to the Speaker of Parliament and told him, here is my change of name gazette. So I'm going to be sworn in as Martha Karua. So I was sworn in as Martha Karua, having campaigned as Martha Njoka. I then changed my practice because I still had my law practice. I reserved the name Martha Karua, and the practice I wrote to the Law Society, appended the gazette notice, and my practice became Martha Karua. There are people who thought that will affect me because the name is very well known. And my answer was, it's me who made the name well known. This one will be also well known. The transition was not so difficult. I would go to the constituency. My children are in tow, they were quite small. So I introduced them, and I would say, this is Wawera Njoka and Edward Njoka, for the simple reason that their father is, the congregation will finish just like you are about to finish. They'll say Njoka. Then I tell them, from now on, you will refer to me as Martha Karua, for the simple reason that my father is Kwisha. Story nyingi ni za nini? Only one time in court, because I was also doing court in the mornings. I go to court, and my good friend, Judge Aluoch, in a very packed court, says, she addresses me, and I knew she knew that I have changed name. But she addresses me, "Oh, Mrs. Njoka," saying very loudly. So I told her, "Judge, that was last year. The name is Martha Karua." So the laughter turned back on her, not on me. And I had no other encounter. Because indeed, that used to be my name, but it was the previous year. Yeah, you got to ask somebody new year what their name is. Just turn it into a joke, and that was that. It was an easy transition, and I was very vocal in Parliament. So every evening, they are hearing member for Geshogo by the name Martha Karua. So it was okay. Yeah.
You've mentioned your children, your 2 children. At the transition, there's a point where you literally almost had 3 children, because you left, stopped being a magistrate and started this new child called entrepreneurship, which is your practice. There are many entrepreneurs in the room. When I asked people to fill in the questionnaire, one of the things that I found out is the number of entrepreneurs in the room today. You were balancing that with becoming a new mother, and you literally went to court 4 days after having a child. Explain to me juggling this. And at the same time, you had recently become single at that time. So it was difficult.
You know, going into new practice coincided with my life alone with my children, because then I had the ability to get accommodation for myself. As a magistrate earning 3,000, it was difficult for me to get a house and fend for my children. So I leave the job of magistrate in July of 87. And I decide I'm leaving Joka's house and I get my own house. I'm now practicing, maybe charging for application for bail 5,000, which is more than my whole month's salary. So I'm able to pledge out. And I'm 7 months pregnant. Was it 7? No, it wasn't 7, because I got my baby. I was pregnant. It wasn't even showing a lot, because I get my baby the following January. So when my baby came in January 3, my practice is speaking, and I'm a sole practitioner. And I get this client on phone. I'm told from my office that there's somebody who wants me to apply for bail. I accept. I'm at home. It's the 4th day. And you know, nobody will pay you money if you don't show up in court. So I decide I'm going to court. I'm living at the State House Crescent, and the case is in Kibera. I didn't want to drive. I had a friend of mine. She came to drive me. And I go to Kibera. But before I go, I have called, because my last station was Kibera. So I know the executive officer. I call and I tell them, I'm going to court 1. Please, on this file, let the magistrate know I have a 4-day-old baby. The only favor I'm seeking, immediately I appear in court, let him please call my file so that I apply for bail and go. So that's what I did. He happened to have been an old classmate of mine, law classmate of mine. And when he saw me entering through the packed court door, Kibera courts are very packed. I think the horror he felt, he immediately called my file as I'm approaching. And I applied for bail. My client got bail, and I left. And that meant 5,000 in my pocket. And I went to look after my baby. Yeah. Let me say, extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary measures. That meant that my maternity leave, in quotes, if you can call it, I was at home. dashing to the office here and now whenever it is necessary to do what I have to do to get it going. Yeah.
Wow. Do what you have to do to get it going. I want to switch a bit. When the people you're working or leading with, they start shifting away from the values that you stand for, how have you handled this situation?